Hello guys, what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time we are taking a look at the Transformers Generations Windblade. This is the very first version of Windblade to be released in this style, and some people seem to just not like her. She's not that great. And what's my take on the toy? Well, it is not the best version mold-wise of Windblade. I think the Robots in Disguise one is awesome. But I think paint-wise, this is probably the best one so far. I'm not sure about the upcoming Generations Headmaster one, but as far as this one is concerned, I think I love the paint job. Now, there is one thing that I don't like, and that's the legs sticking off from the top. A lot of Jet Transformers seem to do that, like the Robots in the Disguise Starscream seems to do that for whatever reason. Trigger Happy, it seems to work. But there's a lot of Jet Transformers that seem to be continuing that trend, and I don't like it. I mean, at least it gives use to the legs, and it's not just kibble at the bottom. But I don't know, it's not enjoyable. It kind of ruins the alt mode. For this, it's not that bad, and it's probably not even that big of a deal. It's probably just a pet peeve, but I think we need to stop this trend, because I'm seeing too many Transformers with that. Disregarding that, I like the black. I think that's good. Now, she is primarily black in this alt mode, which I'm fine with. I think it looks good. It could use a little bit more red on the wings, but overall, I like the style. I love the wings, too. I think that's pretty cool. The yellow cockpit looks fantastic, and she's got these little turbines that can move if you want. Unfortunately, you get a little part of the wing as soon as you move that, but you know what? That's fine. And the turbines actually spin pretty easily compared to the Robots in Disguise version, which is pretty good. And they seem to lock into place, so that's nice. The nose cone is rubber, I believe. Yes, it seems to be a rubbery plastic. She has landing gear at the bottom, right here, and then she's got two right here. She also has the sword, and the thing that the sword goes in, so you've got storage for that, but you don't really need that for this mode, so that's good. Overall, for the jet mode, there's some things I don't like. I mean, there's a lot of kibble at the bottom, but I'm fine with that. I mean, it's a jet transformer. Not a lot of jet transformers seem to have a clean underside, and I can kind of understand why. I think as far as this toy is concerned, it doesn't look bad. It's just I'm nitpicking at this point. I will say, though, some of the lines and bits and whatnot don't really seem to line up. Like, these two little bits are supposed to hook underneath here, and they don't really seem to do a good job. But I think it holds fine. I mean, as soon as you move this around, yeah, parts are going to come undone. It doesn't really tab in too well, but I think it's fine. So anyways, let's go ahead and transform the figure. If I didn't say so already, I have a new background. Anyways, starting off with the transformation, what you want to do is unhook the wings from here, and just open these up, and move those out of the way, like so. Next, what you want to do is bring this back all the way, or just to at least there, just to get that out of the way. And then, next what you want to do is separate the legs, like so. Bring down this, which will become the heel. And then rotate this around like so. And then bring these sections all the way down. And they don't really lock into place, which is unfortunate. But bring them down. And then rotate this from the waist. Take the shoulders and, oh, don't bring that up. What you want to do next is open up the chest, like so. Bring out the head, pull that back, bring up the shoulders, like so. Make sure that these shoulder pads are up, and you can do whatever you want with the wings. Bring these up. What I like to do is, there's a separate joint that can articulate the wings themselves. I like to bring that up just a bit and bend them out. There's a little joint behind that. And then there's also a joint right here. So a lot of joints for the wings, so you can do whatever you want with that. I think that's really cool. I'm sorry I didn't really show that off camera, but you got a lot of joints in the wings, is all I'm going to say. And that is Windblade in her robot mode. Now, as far as the robot mode is concerned, there are some issues. First up, the heels. They don't really help the figure to stand. Now, on my figure, it seems to be okay, but they're not that good. You can see that the heel stops right here, which I understand the purpose and style that they're going for, but I wish it stuck out a little bit further. I think they tried, because there's a bit of plastic sticking out from the side there, but it's just not enough to help. And also the legs have this bend to it, so I guess they tried, but I feel like it needs a bigger heel. Especially when you got these giant wings on the toy. So I get the purpose, I get the intention, but with the wings it just needs bigger heels. Also, the legs like to come undone constantly. Like, you try to stand this figure up and the legs are just going to come undone. Which might be good for some poses, but it's not that great. I wish this locked into place, but it doesn't. So, yeah, that's a problem. Another problem is the knees. I really don't like the knees. They are very small joints that I feel like are going to snap at some point. And I hate them. Also, the landing gear at the bottom here. It's not a big deal, but it's there. The arms themselves are fine. I like the arms. They don't really do much for the alt mode, but at least for the robot mode, they're fine, and they got a little bit of detail with the blue and red, so that's pretty good. You got some blue and red detail going on throughout this toy. I will give it credit, at least they tried to differentiate the paint applications. Like, they tried to add some red and black everywhere, not just a whole thing of red in this section. You know, it spreads itself out quite well. Especially on the head. I love the paint applications on the head. The molding itself, I'm not sure. It just, compared to the Robots in Disguise one, I think the Robots in Disguise one did a better job. I think that if this Windblade went in between this and the RD one, that would have been fine. Which the Generations one, for being a headmaster, actually might have the best looking head out of all of them. Anyways, as far as weapons and accessories, oh yeah, and also fold that back. There's also this other joint in here that I really just don't like. It's to mush in the cockpit, I guess, but it just doesn't really work out for me because it's so loose and just gets in the way. Anyways, for weapons and accessories, she's got this thing on the back of her head that can pop off. I'm not going to right now, but that's like a little fan thing, so that's pretty cool. It's a transparent plastic that's been painted over with a very thin layer of gold, which is very nice. I do like how that came out. She's also got this, which, if she'll stand, there we go. You can bring out the sword. And the sword looks awesome. It's a transparent purple that fades into a white, or a clear, I should say. Which is pretty cool. This looks good too. It's very basic, but it's alright. The problem that I have with this is you're supposed to tap it on the side of the leg, but it just pops off way too easily. Not like the Robots in Disguise one. The Robots in Disguise one seems to do a good job. So usually what I do is, there's a little handle on the side here, and I usually get her to hold that. It's just easier, and I don't have any worries about that popping off. And there's the sword. The sword looks intimidating. It looks good. I like it. It's a very nice style. Really speaks to her character. I like that. And that's a good thing. This toy has a lot of character. The design of her has a lot of character, which I like. Especially when this character is most known for the IDW comics. So that's pretty good. Comparison with the RID one. Now again, the only problem I have with the RID one is the paint applications, which we got a better version of that in Wave 2 of the Combiner Force lineup. Now that wave hasn't hit my stores yet, so I can't get the Soundwave Skywarbler or the new Windblade. This is the one I have right now, and as far as this is concerned, I think it looks pretty good. Again, it's just the paint. If they brought the paint on this and brought it over to this, then this one would just beat it overall, because I like the simplicity of it. They don't try to overcomplicate it with the transformation. It does good. Every issue that I really have with this one is completely changed and altered in this, and it's just a better toy. The only real big issue that I have with it, other than the paint, is the back kibble itself. I think the back kibble is done on this one a little bit better, but that's because some of the kibble that transforms into this is also part of the legs and whatnot, like these back wings and whatnot. But I still consider the Robots in Disguise one to be the better toy. It's just, again, that paint. So, with that out of the way, do I recommend this Windblade? It's a little complicated. If you like the style of Windblade, then sure, but this is probably not the #1 version to look at. If you like the paint job, and the RED paint job just ruins the toy for you, then yeah, go ahead and get this. I do have my problems, I do have my complaints, but you know what? I am fine with her being on my shelf, especially if you're going to have this toy on your shelf. If you can get it in a pose, then yes, I would recommend it. But just be warned, she is likely to fall over. With mine, I've been pretty lucky, but it is kind of unfortunate. There was also a pin that was off on this toy that I had to push back into place. I believe it was part of the wing, but I think that was just on mine. So with that said, I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all this fun doodads, and I'll see you guys